it was really enjoyable to watch, and that is what I told the team just in the dressing room.
So many shots on goal, particularly in that first half. Was that part of the plan?
Yes, it was to get in that in those spaces. But therefore you have to work. Therefore you need switch of play. Therefore you need dynamic in front. You have to get the box entries to get the back line back, and then you have to get the shots there, the spaces for the shots, and it was good to see.
In the mind of my players, in my mind, we need to have the ambition, the ambition to play this game in a different way, with more personality, to avoid to miss a lot of stupid passes, and to try to improve.
From the start to the finish, was that the best overall performance of the season, would you say?
We had many overall good performance. Obviously, I think against Newcastle we did a really good performance. We control the game, but we don't get results. So overall was not what we want. So today probably overall was the best performance because we get the result and the performance. But we need more of this. So we need to win more games. We need to perform like this, because when we perform like this, we are closer to win, and we need that for us.
Yeah, honest appraisal of that. It's excellent, dominant performance from Manchester United. 28 shots, 10 on target, the most of any team against any opposition this season. And Bruno himself, back to his best.
Yes, he certainly was. He was absolutely excellent today. It helped a little bit that Spurs dropped off, so he could get into areas where he could dictate in the game. But from minute one, you see him on the first clip here, he's confident in his set pieces. We know he can do that. Getting into little pockets here, even when the Spurs are trying to protect what they have there. He had the most passes in the final third. But this is what I liked about him the most. He was on the front foot. Bruno has been accused for not running and helping out his teammates, but this was what led to the first goal. Again, these are the passes, wide people to make something happen. But not only that, then trying to get forward and help his teammates out. Rashford again was excellent. Yeah. But look at the save from Lloris, who was so lucky to be on the losing side. But this is his goal, finding that little bit of space right in the middle. Okay, he don't win the first one, but the finish here, the composure is so delicate. He just gets the right amount of purchase on the ball. And this is the Bruno we want to see. We know it was in there. When he was on absolute fire. Yeah. You see today, though, the shots first, shots on target, 3, chances created 9, and passes in the final third, 34. Yeah. This is the most, in the Premier League this season. And this is the Bruno we want to see week in, week out now.
Yeah, absolutely. Lots of talk about the penalty law, and you think it might have played a part in that Bruno goal?
Yeah, definitely.
Handball law, I should say.
Here's a clear example of a defender more concerned about giving away a handball than blocking the shot, which is essentially what his job is to do. And here, the first time he's got his hands behind his back, and then the second time his hands are behind his back, and he actually makes himself smaller instead of bigger to block the shot. And I think it's because of the situation we've got with the handball law at the minute. And don't get me wrong, it's an excellent strike from Bruno Fernandes, but Dyer actually makes himself smaller on the half turn and gives Bruno the half of the goal. And I just think, it's in defenders' minds at the minute.
Do you think if you were playing now the way it is the handball law, that you would modify your defending, do something like that?
Yeah, you have to like that. And I think it makes it more difficult. Instead of making yourself big to block the shot, you're more concerned you're putting your hands behind your back and it's unnatural position and kind of turning to the side and not blocking the goal.
Yeah, you should be the size of Mikey, you wouldn't have to worry. You can just hide it back.
If you had my chest, you'd be all right.
Still block it anyway. Cristiano Ronaldo, now we all know what a great player he's been and stuff like that, but walking off the pitch as a substitute with a minute or so, 2 minutes to go before the game is finished, I'm sorry, I mean, that's unacceptable. That's poor, isn't it?
It is so poor. For someone who we've looked up to for so long, you're one of the greats of the game, to do that when your team are winning, making it about him, it's unacceptable.
Yeah, no, I think it's disappointing, really. Yeah. It's a great night for Manchester United, and here we are talking about Ronaldo again, who didn't actually play.
Yeah, very strange.
So we've just seen Tottenham Hotspurs' 3-match winning run in all competitions come to an end after a 2-0 defeat away to Manchester United. Let's get some post-match reaction from their head coach. Here's Antonio Conte.
Antonio, you could have gone second tonight. Does it feel like a missed chance?
Missed chance. I think the game at the end United deserved to win, and they played a really good game. In our side, I think that in this type of game, when the level go to be high, we need to improve a lot. We need to improve a lot, and to try to be better than today. Yeah.
You can't do too much about a deflection, the nature of the first goal. That was always going to be important, wasn't it? Who got that first goal, that first breakthrough?
Yeah, the first goal was a deflection, but at the end I have to be honest and to tell you that United played better than us, and they created more chances than us, and we. I think into the pitch we put will, but we have to know that this level we have to try to improve, to be better, because the level today was high, and United today showed that they are much better than us today.
Did that performance surprise you tonight then from Tottenham? Was it poorer than you expected?
No, it was poor. I think that United, I consider United a really good team, and you know very well the potentiality of this club, also in this what they did in this transfer market, what they are doing, what money they can spend. For sure, we are talking about two different levels, but at the same time, I think in this type of game we can do much better, because we are struggling, and we struggle against Chelsea, we struggle against Arsenal, we struggle today against United.
And have you the players who are going to bridge that gap, who are going to be better against the better teams for the rest of the season, to ensure that you can compete at the highest level of the Premier League?
We have to try to improve, and there is only the work to try to improve, and I repeat, especially in this type of game, when the atmosphere is there is a lot of noise, and Old Trafford is an important pitch. United is an important team. I think we can improve. We can improve in this type of game and try to increase our level if we want to try to be competitive.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Talk about contrasting emotions to the last match week when they registered 23 points from their first 10 games, their best ever Premier League start. So a missed opportunity. Should they have won today, they would have moved, of course, onto 26 points, which would have been just a point off Arsenal, the leaders, and superseding Manchester City, the top two not playing this week, will be of particular frustrating nature for Antonio Conte. But the fact that they've won the last three in all competitions, where was the momentum going into this game? Did you see that at all?
Well, before the game, they had it, but as Antonio Conte mentioned then, against the big teams, they've fallen a little bit short recently. That interview slapped in the face for me of I need to spend some money to catch the big boys. We beat everybody that we're expected to beat, but against the big teams, then we're possibly not good enough.
Does he do that quite a bit?
Yeah, he does, but I don't really buy it. I think that Tottenham have got some really good players that other teams would die for. You know, the likes of Son and Kane. I mean, name a better attack. You know, name a better pairing in the league. It's really good, and they've got some other great players around them. I mean, the goalkeeper's been exceptional today, but they've got some other good players as well. So I think he can do more with that team. I don't think they set up with a lot of belief. I think they set up quite negatively and like hitting teams on the counter attack. And as I say, I think with a bit more belief, they could perform better than they are doing.
Is he being defeatist, Conte?
Well, you could argue he's been a realist on some levels, because look, I'm with Mo. They got some really good players, but they probably only have three that get in any other of the big teams: Kane, Son, and Romero. The rest of them, nobody else is getting in any of the top teams. So I agree. I think he does do it a lot, but I think he does need money to get into that bigger bracket. So he does play this type of football. Mo's right. This is how he plays. He plays on the counter-attack. And you know what? The only reason they're in the Champions League is because of this guy. When he took over, they were ninth. They were a mess. They were a disaster. They might not be the best watch in the league, but they are one of the most effective teams in the league. And to get to the next level, I think he probably is right. They probably need a better bench, better squad, more players of that. You look at what City and Liverpool and United have. You look at Ronaldo didn't even get off the bench today. So I agree with Mo. I think expensive. I think today he played another midfield player with Basuma. Obviously no Kulusevski. And Richarlison was injured. And they had that extra man in midfield, but they got hammered. They got absolutely hammered.
So they have been more effective in a 3-4-3.
Well, the thing is, they need Kulusevski. That's what they need, because Kane and Son barely had a kick in the game, and that's credit to Varane and Martinez. But look, Conte's had huge success. He's won at Juventus, Chelsea, everywhere he's been, he's won. So this works for him. But the problem is, in our league, in this league, Liverpool and City are, they're too good, I think, for the way this sets up. So something feels like we'll have to give at some point. And I think the only thing that's going to keep Conte here is if they invest in him.
OK, well, a little earlier, both Michael and Owen thought that was arguably United's best performance of the season. But what did their head coach think? Here's Erik Ten Hag.
Congratulations, Erik. A very good win against a very good side. How do you feel?
Against a solid and a magnificent Tottenham Hotspur, we have played the performance very well.
Okay, compared to the last game against Newcastle United, a huge progress achieved tonight. What did you change, and how do you feel the difference today?
Yeah, games are not always going like this. We know that, but it's always not easy as well. And also, when you don't play that well, like Sunday, you still have to win. And we could have won Sunday because we create chances in the end to win that game, but we didn't. And today it was a brilliant performance, and we scored 2 goals. But I think even we should have scored 3 or 4 goals.
You played against a very good, fast attacking team tonight. Are you happy with your defense on the way that they play today?
I'm happy. Same as Sunday. The way we defend, because Sunday we had as well a clean sheet. And you see how proactive we're playing. We, from a good defending organization, we are really proactive in pressing. And you saw the problems what that faced for the opponent. But the same as on Sunday. Also Sunday we didn't concede a goal, but also we didn't concede chances out open play. And this team, that is a base to win games, and that is a win to get in the end positions where you want to be.
There was a certain tempo, a relentlessness about United today. Was that more like it from them?
I think that's what we all envisioned when he came in. Obviously, the success he had at Ajax, we mentioned before. If he calls that brilliant, he's right. That was a dominant performance against a Tottenham side that's the best start to a Premier League season they've ever had. So that's a huge win, I think, for the players. We've been in dressing rooms where you have moments in the season where you go, we can be a good team and we can be even a lot better. And that was, I think, was a statement win for them, Mo.
Yeah, and you can tell he's really pleased with the defensive side of things. Keeping clean sheets is obviously very important to him, to any team that's going to be successful. He's tinkered with that. He's brought players in. And really, when you think about it, I can't really remember David De Gea making any saves today. There was one off Kane that he blocked, but it was offside anyway. But in general, it was a very clean and tidy performance.
Away from the result, now this was interesting. Cristiano Ronaldo sat throughout the contest on the bench, of course. This was after 89 minutes. Now, United still could have made 2 more substitutions. They chose not to, of course. But he went straight down the tunnel. What do you make of that?
Not great. It's not great, is it? If there's more substitutions that were allowed, obviously, then it's not very professional. And I can understand his frustration. I've sat here and spoken about him many times. It must be so difficult when you're of his standing, when you've been such a good player, when you are such a good player, and then to be watching players coming off the bench, and even starting, that you just think, they couldn't lace my boots type of thing, that attitude. And let me, that's a nasty thing to say in many ways, but it's absolutely how You have to think to be
Is
a
it the right
footballer.
attitude?
Well, to believe you're still the best, absolutely it is. Otherwise, you'll go downhill very, very fast.
Yeah.
So you've got to have that arrogance, that, you know, that belief in yourself still. And I've got no problem with that. But then when it turns to, you know, walking off the pitch or walking off the side of the pitch when you could have been brought on still, then that's probably going a bit too far.
In a different interview, not to the one we just heard, Ten Hag said, "I'll deal with it tomorrow," on the Cristiano Ronaldo kind of walk-off